Hi, this is David Fernandez from High Plateau Productions, and you are listening to our podcast, Beyond the Plateau. Today, I have a wonderful guest. He has streamed two live streams with us. We're a huge fan of his music, a huge fan of his humor, and just an all-around good person and a great friend of High Plateau Productions. We have Sullivan Marsters on today. Sullivan, say hi to everybody.
Hey, everybody. Hey, David. It's nice to be on.
Awesome. Thank you for taking the time out. I know your schedule is extremely busy. You have a lot of stuff going on, and we're really just going to get right into this. So you put out one of the amazing homegrown videos for a music video that I have seen personally in a long time. So if your YouTube views are going off the roof, it's probably from David Fernandez from High Plateau Productions, because I think from start to finish, it was brilliant. And the way that you marketed that video of just adding a little bit clip here, or just even some of the pictures that you posted on Instagram, the whole intrigue of the buildup of like, what is it? And then when it dropped, we were like, So let's talk about Murder in a Village, that video first, because that just dropped, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 10 days ago, yeah.
Yeah, tell us about the whole process with that. Or let's first talk about the song. Is that one of the singles? And we'll talk about the EP here in a bit. But that, I'm assuming that's a song that's coming up on your EP.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's the first single off of Fight or Fly, out February 28th. And yeah, so the song is part of the boat songs. So I wrote a lot of songs on a boat over the summer. That I lived in when I was in high school for a while. So I moved back onto that old boat, the old family boat. Had no running water. It was just all wood inside. And so, I just had my guitar. I didn't even have a chair. And I just kind of was just sitting on this boat with the seagulls. And I think one oil tank of the two was empty. So it was on a tilt. So that was interesting to kind of deal with. But I wrote a whole bunch of acoustic jams, and I kind of recorded it that way too. I just recorded Murder in a Village and all the other songs on this EP, just, strumming the guitar and singing at the same time. And so it's really just like a little acoustic jam. Kind of folksy, but creepy. It's like creep folk, maybe.
Now, with Murder in a Village, is it a la like Dave Grohl? Like, are you playing every instrument on that track? Because I find, obviously, me being a little bit older than you, and, when, the Foo Fighters first came out and Dave Grohl played every instrument on that first record that Foo Fighters put out. So how difficult is that? Because I know you posted a lot of stuff on your socials and give a little glimpse of whether you're on the drums or on the bass or on the guitar. How is that as a singer-songwriter of that process?
Yeah, that process was born out of just getting tired of waiting for people to follow up on things and just pure annoyance, out of just pure annoyance with other people, seriously. And I just was like, oh man, guitar players are a dime a dozen, we just, everybody and their mom plays guitar. And it's hard to find a drummer because it's hard to get parents in a household who will tolerate that level of noise. And so drummers are very fickle because they have a lot of options. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to learn how to play the drums myself. And so now it's just fun to have control over everything, and I find it fun. I mean, it was stressful in my first EP, Lines and Color. I learned the drums for that EP, and it took me, I kind of had a little bit of a foundation, but it took me a long time. So that was definitely got very rote and tedious after a while. But I basically just practiced the song for the instruments that I know less about, piano and drums. I just practice for the song. And so I know how to play the song well, but if you need me to play a samba, I won't really know what I'm doing. But it's just fun. Yeah, it's that's for sure.
That's awesome because, with so many shortcuts these days with, everybody having access to GarageBand or, purchasing Pro Logic, of how simple it is to, decide what tempo you're in and then going find a drum loop with a tempo and then dropping that into a song. But I just think, a song has a lot more breath in it and a lot more soul and a lot more depth if you can actually get that live drum track, if you can actually, hit the bass, at the right notes and everything. And I think for Murder in a Village, I think that just, it it just like really hit on all those sort of things. And then obviously to see the background, you know, and watching that song and the video progress and everything over the last few weeks is just absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I'm very happy with it. There's just a cool graveyard nearby, and it was foggy one day. I was walking my dogs and I was like, this isn't good. This isn't good at all.
So how many people were in your film crew for that video shoot?
No one. You know, you got to be socially distant. You know, only the old souls in the graveyard laying 6 feet under. That was.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then the backyard scenes. Where did you dig your 6 foot grave at?
Yeah, 4.5. I got late. Forget it. Yeah, it's 4.5. But yeah. So my mom has she purchased a home in her hometown. Right now I'm in the Central Valley, Modesto, and I'm just house sitting right now to water the plants and whatnot. And it's much nicer because in Los Angeles, I just live in this little box with a little window. And so having a whole house to myself is great. And I had the backyard, and she was like, you know, for paying rent, you got to till the soil, right? And I was like, well, I don't know how to do that because I'm a city boy. I have no idea what I'm doing. I gave myself a horrible blister and whatnot, but whatever, you know. And so basically, yeah, I just was like, if I have to dig this soil and I'm doing the Murder in a Village thing, I can't go dig up a grave, you know, in the cemetery. I'm just going to do it in my own backyard. And yeah, I just dug it right in my own backyard, and it's filled in now, so you can't really tell. Thank God. And I won't tell any of the prospective buyers that, you know, watch out, you know, there was a grave here one time, you know, don't worry about it. But yeah, so no, I didn't get any complaints. But yeah, it was great because it's my own backyard. I can just shoot any time. I mean, I was shooting that like midnight or 1 a.m., which is appropriate, you know?
Yeah. See, I would have went down and purchased a backhoe and then took out the fence and brought a backhoe in to dig that hole and everything. So, yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about the video. So one of the questions, and you and I have spoken several times and everything, over the last year or so. And one of the things that always intrigues me, or maybe not intriguing just because of the world that we live in and everything, you grew up around the entertainment industry. How does that affect a singer-songwriter as a musician or whatnot? Is there a stigma? Is there like this huge expectation on your fan base? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. So yeah, I mean, yeah, both my parents, my mom and my dad, grew up in and around theater, thespians. They ran their own theater company in like almost all the major cities, New York, Chicago, Seattle. And then my dad had me, and he was like, oh man, this kid probably didn't want to be extremely poor. And so he put me in a U-Haul and drove down to Los Angeles, and yeah, he did quite well. And that's, that does create some expectations, I guess. It's mostly positive. I can't lie. It is a huge boon, especially in the current landscape where you have everybody with a laptop and a DAW can be a producer.
Right.
A producer, you can put it online. And so that's awesome, but it's a double-edged sword. The other side of that is then the listener has to sift through a ton of really uninteresting stuff to find what they actually want to find. It's saturated. And so anything that can give a person a reason to click, if I can get, relevance from any means, I appreciate it. And so really, I'm just quite fortunate. But at the same time, I guess, yeah, you said that there, some expectations. I'm trying to, like with doing more live streams, and like some of the live streams I'm thinking of doing are going to be more dark and sort of mysterious to advertise for the shows that I do. But like color themed live streams that are not the same content, just like, oh, here's another picture of my face. Here's another picture of my face on Instagram. Here's another picture of my face on Instagram. So, feeling comfortable to switch it up. I do feel like, oh, I've got all these people watching who signed up to see what I was posting 3 months ago or whatever. And that does make you question like, oh, should I change things around a bit? But really, when I think about the journey, I want to write music for my entire life. So I'm thinking about the whole entire timeline. And so I'm going to have to just, change it up and just experiment. And that's really what people want to see anyways. And I think they'll appreciate. that.
I think that's actually quite brilliant. I think the first time that I saw the Gorillaz in concert and Damon Albarn, basically they play behind a sheet. You can't even, you don't even see them or anything, and changing those things up and the whole mysterious vibe and everything. And I'll digress for a second. So for our listeners who are tuning in, who's actually tuned into one of the live streams that we've had with Sullivan, is that so literally, and Sullivan and I have talked about this too, is that we try to keep our our live streams between like 45 minutes to 55 minutes, and your live streams are so engaging, and the humor that is put into it and the antidotes, and then you're interacting with the chat room, up there, up at the best of what we've live streamed, of your interaction with your fans, and your fans are so good at interacting with you in our chat room and everything, is that it's an actually special thing. And for you to consider and doing some things a little bit different or whatnot, High Plateau Productions is really really looking forward to that, of what Sullivan has up his sleeves, because I know there's lots of tricks up those sleeves.
Yeah. No, and I loved. I mean, I wanted to thank you too for reaching out originally, because I wasn't doing live streams before, because I just assumed, I can't, charge money for $5 for a show. I don't think anyone would show up. But how would I know if I never tried? And I don't know. I mean, I might have never tried unless you'd reached out. So
we're really, and I know those first couple of messages, we were kind of like filling each other out of like, is this guy real? But like literally, and like I just said, is that your live streams go by so quick, and those live streams that are absolutely amazing, where before you know it, Sullivan's walking off the stage and you're like, wow, I just got hit with 12 songs or 10 songs, and it went by so quick, just because it's so engaging. And you're a powerful performer, and you can hold a stage better than the rest out there. So hats off to you. Moving along. So when I watch your live streams and I tune in and we talk and everything, is like sometimes I envision kind of the Energizer Bunny kind of like running around and everything. And is it difficult for you as an artist who's has an EP out, just dropped this amazing new music video, to try to keep track of, oh my God, I got to post today on Instagram. Oh my God, I got to post today on YouTube. Oh my God, I got Facebook today. Oh my God, I got to try to find an interview. Oh my God, I got to try to find a Spotify playlist. How do you manage those things? Because I know you put a lot of effort and a lot of thought process in those posts. Do they just come on in the middle of the night and then you write it down? Or walk our fan base and your fan base, of what that process is for you.
Yeah. So, I mean, how does it come about? I mean, pretty recklessly, to be honest. I really just, it is like you described, oh my gosh, I should post something. And then I'm like, I try to think of something to post, and then I just kind of do that. I don't plan it out at all. Obviously I'll rehearse if I have a show, I'll make sure that I have a set of songs to do, but for the social media posts, no, I'm not keeping track of it as well as I should. So what I'm thinking of doing is setting up monthly live streams on every platform. That'll be different and shorter, maybe 15 minutes or something like that. And just give it some, have it be a place where I can, just try out some new material or something, and have the setup all nice and it'll sound good and whatnot. And then have it be regular so people know when to tune in. It's like, okay, he goes live on Twitter, on Saturdays at noon, and then he does the YouTube on Fridays or whatever it happens to be. And then just be an actual, channel that puts out consistent content that you can, and that'll be, yes, I'll have to produce more content, but it will be easier because I'll be able to plan ahead and prepare for it. Rather than just, really, it's just random. It's really random right now.
Well, and just, the confidence in you of when we first did our first live stream of like, what is this OBS thing, and what do I do? And, and us walking us through all those things and everything, and, updating mics, and, you're constantly updating the sound and everything. And, I think your fan base truly appreciates that of, I don't want to say stepping up the game and everything, because I think your music and your performances stand alone, whether it's on stage or whether it's on a live stream or everything. But it does bring that bit of a great element of, trying to fit to some sort of schedule, so your fan base understand, yes, tune in on this night or tune in on this night and everything. So hats off to you for that concept too, and everything too.
And especially because I have people from all over the world, actually. That's the great thing about doing a lot of this stuff online. As much as I miss in person performances and going to live concerts, I can reach a lot of people from all over the world. And so whenever I have something at 6 p.m., people are like, oh man, that's 2 a.m. for me. And then I have it at 12, and then people in California are like, well, I'm at work. And so I think it'd be great to do different times on different platforms to just maximize.
Yeah. We've experimented on our side, because obviously, streaming fans or streaming singers from across the world too, and everything, of trying to get those things right and everything. Back to the EP, Flight or Fly. It drops on February 28th. There is a pre-save link on your Instagram account. So those of us who are tuning into this, there's a good chance that you're following him. But for my fans that are not following Sullivan, he does have a pre-save link. Walk us through, don't give too much away. Anticipation is the best thing in the music industry. But can you tell us how many tracks are on the EP?
Yeah, it's a 5-track EP, so same amount of tracks as the last one. Like I said, it's mostly these boat songs that I sort of wrote that are just sort of these, like, I don't know, feisty, like acoustic jams, energetic, like acoustic jams. It's if you liked Lines and Color, it's on the same track. It's just better. I think it's better. I think my performance is a lot better. The main difference is that it's got a live feel to it. And the reason why is because I recorded it in a pretty risky way. When I was with my band, Ghost of the Robot, and working on other projects with other bands, it's pretty normal to, take a ton of takes, splice, every single take, every single instrument is isolated, right? So you can control the tone of everything. Right. Everything is in control. And then you can actually take a chorus here, or you can even go down to every word or syllable. It gets ridiculous. And then after that, you can tune it up with something like Melodyne, which is a lot more subtle than Autotune. Autotune is an effect. It's a plugin. But Melodyne is much more intricate and sneaky. And so I thought, I'm in the style of music that I'm doing doesn't really suit itself to that type of production, I don't think, in my opinion. And so I decided to make it almost impossible to do that because I'm recording the guitar and the voice at the same time. And the mics, I've got 2 mics going and they're kind of bleeding through. But the risk can pay off as a reward. And I think it did because it's got this really exciting live, like I said, this live feel that just feels very energetic, organic, and it feels like you're listening to a band, which is great because it's actually just the same person playing all these different instruments. I wrote all of it, and so it's important to have every instrument have its own attitude, and each instrument shines through in that way. So I'm really excited to share this next step with everybody.
Was it recorded in LA?
Yeah, so I recorded in my bedroom, right? It was just, me recording. I mean, you can hear I won't say which song, but for those of you who want to get granular, you can hear a segment of The View at the end of one of the songs. And you can hear my roommate say something, and it sounds very annoyed, but you can hear it. So if you're listening close, so I had a TV blaring over here, helicopters going over, but I shut everything down and I put blankets and everything over the microphones and over me. And I had this little like kid cave. It's like one of those caves you make when you're a kid, but except it was just deadening the sound. And that way I could just have it be isolated, have the performance. And then, bass is direct. And then I did do drums at Ultimate Studios in the Valley in northern Los Angeles. And that was awesome. I love working with Charlie Waymere. Great guy. If you want to do drums, that's the place to do it.
So COVID has affected us all differently. But I think it's the first time in history, at least, since I've been alive, that we can all say that the exact same thing has affected us in one way or the other. And, those type of events, don't happen very often, whether, it's World War II or the Vietnam War or COVID.
Yeah.
How has, besides not gigging and everything, how has it affected a young singer-songwriter like yourself?
Okay, yeah, so I've put a lot of thought into this recently, just thinking about the last almost year. We're coming up on a year. So I guess when everything hit, I was really close to having a lot of things coming together. I'd moved to LA intentionally, to do music and start a music career. I was working with a mighty Production, which is it was a great little production company, kind of guerrilla, but we had events all over the world, as far as New Zealand and a lot in Los Angeles. And so, they said, if I wanted to run a show anywhere, they would book me a red-eye flight on Spirit Airlines. I could go anywhere in the world. It was just a dream job. And they said, hey, we should have you on and play. And it was like, if that had worked out, I would have access to all these live venues across the entire globe.
Right.
Absolutely, just takes away so many logistical challenges of booking live performance, and also, a lot of the financial stuff too. It just would have made it very easy. And so that was just starting to shape up, and then the pandemic hit, and then I freaked out, and I didn't know what I was going to do, and I kind of started teaching a lot of guitar lessons, which is what I'm doing with the bulk of my time now. Is I teach guitar lessons to people at all hours of the day, all over the world, in different time zones and whatnot. So if you're looking for guitar lessons, shoot me a DM. And so I just started teaching guitar lessons, and I have started to, I had more time for music. That's for sure. That's the positive. So the negative is that I had this dream life that collapsed. But the positive is that I had more time to work on music, which is really nice. And then I also took the LSAT as well. And I applied to law schools too. And I'm sort of, trying to examine, depending on how well this turns out. Yeah, this is something I'm kind of pondering, but it means that I had the opportunity to work on a lot of things. So I did a lot with music, did the LSAT just to see, how that goes out, where I'm but I'm definitely, it's hard to make plans when you don't know what the future is going to look like in a real, you never do, but it's very uncertain now, particularly. So, it's positive and negative. I mean, I think a lot of the social sphere was already moving online, and it just kind of accelerated that trend anyways. And so for somebody who likes to produce content online, it's, you have literally a captive audience. I mean, people are just stuck in their homes and whatnot. So they're eager to have live music. And so that's why I want to focus more on live streaming, because, you don't have in-person events, and watching a pre-recorded video isn't the same. So the nice little middle ground is to just try to get good at live streaming. So, yeah, a lot. The answer is a lot.
Right. Yeah. Me and my 17-year-old, we were, of just how dramatic everything has been, is that we were trying to remember, what was the last concert we went to. And I think we went to the Bleachers concert in December 26th, December 27th of 2019. And my oldest 17-year-old Olivia, she's like my concert buddy, and I'm her concert buddy, is that we're constantly going. Do you remember the last live show you went to?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was at a venue called Madame Siam in downtown LA. And it was just like any other one, except people were already, I remember getting kind of nervous because I was running the door at that show, and people would check in on my phone, and everybody was touching my phone. It was gross. So I brought these wipes to wipe down my phone screen. And then everybody was like, oh, can I have the wipe? And I'm like, and I'm super afraid, because are we going to run out of wipes? Because all the toilet paper's gone. Are the wipes next? I don't know. And so I just started being the stingy guy with the wipes. And I was like, well, I can't just frivolously give out the disinfectant, but at the same time, I can't hoard it. It was a tense situation, to say the least.
Just, I could sit here and talk to you forever and listen to stories and everything. So let's go over a couple things really quick one more time. So we have Flight or Fly EP on February 28th coming out. Pre-save is on your Instagram, and it's just your first name and your last name on your Instagram, and then obviously your first and last name that you can be found on Spotify. Murder in a Village there's a actual link in Sullivan's link tree on his Instagram account, so you can find that really easy, but obviously that's on YouTube as well. And then we actually you are in a very prestigious company, my friend. We are actually live streaming Sullivan again on May 7th of 2021, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 p.m. Central time, and 9:30 Eastern time. And folks, literally, Sullivan has almost like 2.5 months to think about what is going to go down on that May 7th. And like I said, if you've seen the 2 other High Plateau productions that Sullivan has done with us, and Sullivan actually just did a Valentine's live stream on February 14th, which was off the hook. So we're super excited about that. And for your fans and everything, this is where I get on my little pedestal and everything. You fans out there listening, you guys are the backbone of indie artists out there. They cannot be doing what you're without your help and everything, your support on Bandcamp. When they do have merch out there of, instead of buying something from Hollister or something, buy a t-shirt, buy a pin, buy a patch. Those things go extremely a long way, especially in this time during COVID where none of us have been able to gig or anything. Support your local indie artists, support your local venues. Even if you don't even know the band, or even if you don't even have any liking and everything, of just that pure joy of being able to go to an independent venue and watch somebody and everything. And we are looking forward to having venues open and seeing our friend Sullivan live. It's something, personally that I've told Sullivan, and then personally inside myself, it's one of those things that is on my checklist things of when, we're able to get back to actual live venues is, very up there, see Sullivan live, just because his live streams are so dynamic. And I just can't imagine, what the interactions with the shows are and everything. So, Sullivan, this is the time where we just kind of throw out some random questions for you. And if you don't know it, that's great. Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Favorite sugar cereal?
Fruit Loops, no doubt, hands down.
Favorite Mexican food place in the Valley?
Oh my gosh. I would say it is in the Valley. Oh, and you mean in the Modesto Valley?
Yeah.
Oh, the taco truck area. It doesn't even have a name, but it's just everyone knows in Modesto. If you're in Modesto, the taco trucks. They're all in one area. That's it. I mean, that's the late night spot. Absolutely.
Where in the LA area? Where's your go-to place for late night snack after a venue? Where are you guys eating at?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm like a loyal In-N-Out person.
Nothing wrong with that, my friend. Nothing wrong with that.
The banana peppers and the animal fries after shows is incredible. So if I can convince a group to go there, that's where I'm going. Yeah.
If I was to grab your iPhone and funnel through your Spotify or your Apple Music, which indie artists am I looking at?
Oh my gosh. You would be looking at an artist. You'd be looking at Pomplamoose for sure. You'd also be looking at. I mean, I don't think that. Yeah, Chopin wouldn't have been an indie artist, but I'm happy to be listening to a lot of Chopin and like some classical stuff too. I don't know it's not really indie, but I mean they weren't signed to any label, so hey.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
Netflix series you're binge watching right now?
I binge watch nature documentaries.
Yes, I just downloaded and got the Discovery app, and gave them my $6.99 a month. And literally, it's funny. My girls will come in and they're like, "You have a big TV to watch that on?" I'm like, "No, it's on the app. I could get National Geographic. I'm a huge fan of Gold Rush. So yeah, totally with you with the whole nature stuff."
Yeah, love that. Oh my gosh.
Cool. Well, Sullivan, we've really appreciated the last 30 minutes with you. And once again, folks, Flyer Fly EP, February 28th. May 7th, another live stream with High Plateau Productions. But as you've listened through this, Sullivan is in the process of creating, some sort of calendar or whatnot to, do some, streams on different platforms and make that, so it's a constant sort of thing for his fan base and everything. Sullivan, we really appreciate the time. And, privately and publicly, how I feel about you as a human being, and secondly, as a musician and everything. And High Plateau Production stands right next to you, brother. And anything that we can do to help you out, we're going to be the first one in line to come and help you out. Okay.
Thanks, David. I really appreciate going on, and I just love what you're doing. It's exactly what I want to see in the world. And yeah, you're the definition of be the change you want to see in the world. So
Sullivan, we appreciate that. Folks, you've been listening to David and Sullivan on a High Plateau Productions podcast, Beyond the Plateau. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time. Take care.